Well, we are all part of a little bit of Gallagher Premiership history right here, hopefully noisy history. For the first time, the league is experimenting with something like an away end. We're actually going to call them away blocks or away bays, I think. But either way, Gloucester fans who want to be next to each other today are, and they're dressing how they like as well.
That's how they usually dress.
Is it? Mark Atkinson's with us. We'll get confirmation of that with Atco in a minute. Anyway, players and coaches looking forward to a lively atmosphere. Let's see. Here's Mark McCall's Saracens team that he hopes will quieten the shed on tour. He'll have to work without Alex Lazowski and former Gloucester prop Fraser Balmain for the rest of the season, both injured last time out in the league up in Leicester. Ollie Hartley, therefore, back to reclaim his place in midfield. Marco Riccioni set for a busy time as well over the remaining weeks as the starting tight head. Elsewhere, Dan, Ezekwe, Earl and Shegan, all additions to the 15 that started the win up at Welford Road. Well, yesterday's big news about Christian Wade and his switch to rugby league and Wigan at the end of the season helped in part explain why he's not part of George Skivington's 23, the squad named an hour or so before yesterday's announcement. Wade rested. He is here, though. Gloucester, therefore, missing two of their top three try scorers today, with Max Llewellyn continuing to make his way back from injury. Thomas Williams is involved, though, after his starring role in the last Premiership outing against Bristol. It's Williams and Anscombe at 9 and 10. All Wales once more. The headline selection up front, the return of a fit-again Arthur Clark. Ben, head-to-heads.
I just think we're all expecting this game to open up. Lovely weather, fast track, but I think Tom Willis has had an amazing season, and his battle with Ackerman's going to be all important. Who can dent that defensive line to make sure that the fast boys out wide have a little bit more time to find their targets?
Mark, who have you got your eye on backs-wise?
Yeah, two of the most entertaining backlines in the league, but it's the two fullbacks for me, Carreras and Daly. Two that have got the ability to run, pass, kick, frighten defenders, and generally the ones that we look to spark these backlines.
Good to have you with us, by the way. Welcome along.
Thank you very much. Thank you for looking after me.
Is that how Gloucester people dress, as Ben suggests all the time?
I'm not quite as brave as Ben. I wouldn't go against the locals, but yes, yeah, mostly that, yeah.
That's a little bit more traditional, that kit, isn't it? But Buzz is in there, and that dinosaur from Toy Story anyway. They're all looking forward to this one as we are. Home fans out in force, of course. We'll have a chat about the away end, the away bay. I'm sure you know, but we should make the point that it's not obligatory. If you'd rather sit, as we always have done, with opposing fans, then you can buy tickets in that area as well.
There's so much that's good about rugby union's atmosphere. You know, you speak to a lot of people. I'm a big football fan myself, but lots of families love to come and spend time next to each other. But I think you speak to some of the players as well, and when you go to France, and I was lucky enough to be there when Harlequins went to Bordeaux, and Harlequins were all sat in one place, and the atmosphere was different. It was better, it was more exciting. So let's not get rid of the family atmosphere, but if some of the fans want to go and make a lot of noise together, then you've got more chance of doing that when you're sat next to each other rather than on opposite sides of the stadium.
Yeah, I think as Ben's alluded to, when you go to play in these European competitions, it generally happens anyway. You look around the stadium, you see pockets of your own fans. You know, putting them together is just something we've now put a name to. So generally the travelling fans sit with each other. I don't think we should make too big a thing out of it, and hopefully it'll add to the entertainment.
Well, what fun it has been following this lot around this season, increasingly so. 5-star entertainment last time out in the Premiership, 53 points against Bristol at Kingsholm, 9 tries, at times breathtaking. All the fun of the fair, all the fun of the circus, and it's the circus on the road here. Led out by Lewis Ludlow as always, and polite applause from the Easter Bunny, which is always good to see. Woody a little bit more exciting, which is also good to see. I think I saw a traffic cone in the middle of that away section. It could be fun, this away bay business. Saracens nicely rested after a weekend off, 2 weeks since they sent what was really a sub-first choice team to Toulon in the Champions Cup. 3 weeks since a hugely significant win at Leicester, that relit title hoax. Sale's 7-try win across London a bit earlier has propelled the Sharks into the playoff zone for the time being. A Saracens win here will be enough to take them back into the top 4 for the first time since January. Remember, it's Bristol against Leicester tomorrow, and Sarries once more perhaps perfecting the art of timing. Looking after the timing and the whistling and all that kind of stuff is Adam Leal today. Joe James and Jonathan Healy are assistant referees with the flags. The TMO is Peter Allen. The smell of the smoke in our nostrils on this Easter Saturday. It is bright, sunny, a little bit cold, a lot breezy, and that perhaps is the most significant bit of the weather. There is a stiff wind blowing its way around the Stonex Stadium as Gloucester in the chain strip in the white, and Santi Carreras early spill for Ollie Hartley. It is one of those days, Mark, where you're going to be keeping a very close eye on the high ball.
Yeah, this is always a tough place to play. The wind generally blows right down it, and there's a big advantage to be had. I think even the towel being chucked on, then Jack Singleton's had to grab for it. So there's always a bit of an advantage with this, and Sarries have perfected the art of it over the years.
First go at asking big questions. We'll go to Gloucester and Jack Singleton via this line out, and an early re-involvement for Arthur Clarke at the front. But look at Theo Dan and how quickly he was up. Still Gloucester ball. Ackerman came in. He had to wait half a second for it, but he got it in the end from Thomas Williams. Pumped up by Atkinson, and Saracens conceding an early penalty. So Anscombe and Carreras with free ball here. Carreras running into the sizable frame of McFarland.
Just an interesting one there. Just see whether they go quickly here, but
come towards me a bit more.
The last line out, Saracens gifted Gloucester the front, and it is quite windy, but they're obviously so concerned about Gloucester going wide that they're prepared to just say, if you want to throw the ball at the front, we want to make sure that there's 6 defenders still in the line out that can get off quickly and mean that you can't get as wide as you want to play. So just wondered whether with this wind they would have said to Singleton on his first throw, go on then, throw it long. But look, absolutely no thought of defending the front of the line out. Gloucester take it, Theo Dan comes round and snuffs it out.
Do you see Gloucester trying to go wide today, Mark? Is that what you thought about when you were playing here?
I think what we just saw then, hitting into midfield and assessing your options and then hitting back. Because if you don't get front foot ball against Sarries, you've got to come back to the short side because of the height they get in the outside channels.
The line.
Let's see, they've got a golden opportunity here. Singleton, oh, golden opportunity rusts away and stolen by Shegan. Gratefully for Saracens. That was an ambitious throw. We've talked about the wind endlessly so far, but if it had come off, it would have been perfect. It didn't.
Okay, use it, please.
Now with the job of clearing lines.
Everyone stand up over here.
Ivan Van Sale does just that.
He's part of the line.
Yeah, sure. Stayed down on the far side
the
there.
ball's on my jumper. Is he still not offside? No, so they form no more. The ball had been moved through the back of the maul, so I had no problem with them coming round.
With the fact that Rapava-Ruskin is back fit, very, very good scrummager. I'd want Riccioni not to be losing him this early in the game.
Doubling up on the early injury to Fraser Balmain, you remember at Leicester 3 weeks ago. Balmain's season is over. We were saying as the teams came out that Marco Riccioni can expect to have a busy time between now and season's end, and this would be very bad news. They've got Saracens' Alec Clary on the bench, and he's being taped up, a bit of magic tape. Let's have a look, see how he did this.
Starts to lift his foot there, doesn't he? Before the contact's made, he's almost hopping to go in to clear that out. Just hope something got trapped in there.
Can you imagine the fear being on the bench as a tight head prop, seeing him go down in the first minute?
He's in the receiver.
Alec Clary just breathing a little bit heavier at the moment. That by Atkinson. Oh, goodness me, the hit on Ackerman, forcing the spill of the ball.
No, Varney, coming back. One offer.
Was it Ollie Hartley who came in?
Just
he hits.
Seeing about hitting the middle, as Mark was saying before, Saracens go with a high press on the outside, which is sort of saying, go on then, go over us if you want. Gloucester say no, we'll play tight down the middle, try and win that collision.
All that patience we discussed, okay?
But you've got to keep your accuracy, Mark.
Yeah, I think if we were to see that again, there's actually the ability to push through. You see Tompkins wanting to get through in the outside channels, and I think that wider pass was possibly the one that was on. Easy to say from this angle, but I think we'll probably see that shape again later in the game.
Ollie Hartley, by the way, another one of those who'll be busy between now and the end of the season. Alex Lazowski awfully suffering the same injury at Leicester as Ollie Lawrence did, rupturing his Achilles, so he's facing a similarly long road back.
First real test for Riccioni of that ankle.
If you two are
see
too
the
close
strapping
together,
on
we need
it.
to open up just a little bit so you're not stopping him from getting his bind.
A little bit of overbalance. Rapava-Ruskin desperate to test him
Give
out.
yourself the right space.
There's
so
not
you're not
many
getting too
better
much weight
opportunities
across.
in the game as a back line, I don't think. You've got to, back three have got to be covering the 50-22. We've got runners on that side for Burke. Elliot Daly being able to take his left foot down there. This is endless opportunities for this Saracens back line.
Bind! Set! Play away.
That's a proper heavyweight contest today, isn't it? Rapava-Ruskin and Riccioni. Meantime, the backs and Tompkins running hard, and Tobias Elliott back
No head on net contact.
to Daly. Willis. Temperature rises. Riccioni. Van Sale. Burke. Tompkins continues to flow it wide, however. Then all got a little bit messy, and George Barton, the right wing today, got himself involved.
That's clear, then we'll get it.
Has Barton stopped you in your tracks news that Christian Wade's going to be a rugby league player before too long?
Then we'll deal with it in the normal manner.
Meaning that Barton is on the right wing today. His first start on the wing. He's better known as a fullback, Mark.
Yeah, started as a 10, moved to 15, done a really good job at 15, and I think Gloucester probably got sort of dismantled a little bit in the air by Bath in the last 2 games down there, so I think obviously we'll see him used to taking high balls at 15 and see how he gets on the wing today.
That teaming was fine, Adam.
Saracens kick a bit as well.
We checked the tackle timing fine.
Been known to over the years, yeah.
Seconds! Crouch!
Just looking in the background there of whether there was an early contact on the tackle.
Set!
Good break initially from Saracens down that right-hand side, but again, just accuracy the problem.
Atkinson linking back up with Williams and Anscombe, and now Carreras really putting the foot down, and he has a scampering Jake Morris. Oh, that's a beautiful kick. Harris chases, Harris picks up. Trademark Gloucester. One end to the other, and that away bay out of their seats very early.
Brilliant execution. It's the same run-around shape we saw earlier. We've seen it a couple of times this year.
Just clearing this out,
and then Anscombe does brilliantly to turn the corner, but it's Santi Carreras who puts the pace on, puts Jake Morris away, but this little bit of skill down the edge. The ability and the awareness to just drop it on the toe there, and Chris Harris doing what he's done all season on the end of things.
It's Tompkins that they target, isn't it? They hold him, get him to plant both his feet, which means he can't then recover and get outside. That's how they create the overlap on that outside. And then once they're past him, it's all backtracking, and that's beautiful. I've seen that done at this ground so many times. Alex Goode used to love that little ball back inside with all the cover racing to the touchline, and you wrong foot them back the other way to the support. It's Ben Earl who can't gather the ball at the first attempt. Brilliant try from Gloucester, but again, just manipulating that defence. Tompkins gets held, and then he can't recover to the outside channel.
Burke's restart, the try scorer's take, and a little pirouette out of the attempted tackle of Tobias Elliott.
Not clearly. Thank you, use it now.
Tojo trying to make a nuisance of himself, and then McFarland really did, and Williams didn't get the distance on that he would have wanted. Jake Morris, first Premiership game of his season in the absence of the likes of Josh Hathaway, Max Llewellyn, Ollie Thorley, all still away, but that's a tummy settler. Really impressive. Tompkins to a charging Tom Willis. Pierre McFarlane stayed on this near right-hand side, but Sarri's looking to the left for the time being. Burke. Jack Singleton crowbarred out of the way as he was hunting for glory. That's a decent surge and particularly quick ball. Then it spits out and Van Sale finds Daly, and Daly's marmalised. Oof.
Well left.
Oh, goodness. Jack Clement with the tackle. Willis again, head down. That's the right now, though, protecting that doorstep. Sarri's working hard to get beyond the gain line. They have now.
Tackle first. Yeah, that's good.
An injured player, meantime, as Rotimi Shagan looks for space, breaks the tackle, and he'll go over. Opening try on the opening day of the season in the win at Gloucester back in September. He's got Sarri's first hit.
Gloucester's defence have been so good up until this stage, but the counter-ruck, they just lose a couple of bodies but don't come up with the ball. Barton gets lost and Shagan reacts the quickest.
Yeah, all good, mate.
And that step back inside, it's just one of those bouncing balls that can just make people hesitate at the wrong moment, Mark.
Yeah, I think we saw George Barton just in a good position on this short side, folds round as the counter-ruck sort of caused a bit of this sort of confusion in the ranks. He folds round the corner, bouncing ball, and Shagan one-on-one's something that nobody wants to see, but yeah, just a little bit of confusion around the ruck time and dragged Gloucester out of position and just led to an opportunity.
Also worth saying that they were without one of their best defenders, Chris Harris, in the middle of all that, but he happily is back on his feet. He runs down the line of the ball, which didn't go down particularly well.
Just wanted to look at the set-up play at the beginning of all that. Although Gloucester defend it really well, it's really sensible. They play and they make Willis go outside. That takes out the outside defenders, Harris. Then they look like they're going to come back this way, but because there's no defenders on the far side, they sweep down that left-hand side. So really good set-up play. Gloucester defend it well initially. Something to watch out for, how Saracens are trying to manipulate that Gloucester defence.
Willis, early try apiece. First one for Chris Harris.
Inside.
Latterly, Roti Shagan for Saracens.
Ivan! They've been put on before they set off.
Carreras took it awkwardly just around his chin, but he did well to readjust and bring it down safely. Freddie Thomas involving himself and beautifully out of the back from Atkinson, and another sweeping move, but Van Sale got his body in the way, and then Clement, and then the whistle. It's
Such a shame.
The middle of all that, the work of Seb Atkinson.
It is on the kick return. The width that Gloucester managed to get into that first pass just meant that the Sarries defenders getting high in the outside channels just have to get a bit static. Seb Atkinson turns the corner brilliantly, throws a fantastic offload, and unfortunately just forces it at the end. But it's a great recovery tackle from Elliot Daly, who got into a bit of trouble there.
Mark.
The way Atkinson set up that offload, he knew exactly what he was going to do. Just as you said, needed to get around that corner, get the left-hand fend out, keep the tackler away from the ball. As soon as he wins that race against Tompkins, he knows he can get the ball away.
Crouch!
I'm going to ask you, Mark, in a minute, why Seb Atkinson isn't attracting England's attentions a little bit more. You've got some time to think about that, but it's one of those we're asking ourselves more and more. Gloucester with half a shove, and a determined Willis brings it away for Saracens. A very determined Willis.
His acceleration and power off the base is incredible, isn't it? Gets that high knee drive really early, and there's no way he wasn't going to win that collision.
Barton to Carreras. Williams, Anscombe, Clement, Atkinson again away quickly to Barton. This is beautiful. Jake Morris on the left wing.
Offside, Black.
And Skim. Saracens offside as Clement biffs it up.
Offside, multiple players. Never made it. Number 5, never onside.
It's exactly the same shape we saw then again off the kick return. Mentioned it last time, the width that Gloucester are getting into, kick return, set up, out the back play, allows Atkinson to turn the corner. Sarries, when that bass coming forward, they're organised. It just doesn't allow defenders to set and get forward to make dominant shots.
It's not an easy question for you to answer as a former teammate, but is Seb Atkinson in England's squad to Argentina over the summer, do you think?
I think so, yes. I think what we're seeing from him has been consistent, but now we're seeing a difference to his game. We're seeing areas where he's really impacting games. As opposed to being out there doing well, he's now being one of the dominant figures for Gloucester. And I think it's happened for long enough that he needs to be on that plane.
Sometimes it's just about getting a break as well, and although you never want other players to get injured, there's been a couple of injuries picked up in that midfield at the moment. Obviously, Ollie Lawrence. I think Max Ajomo might have picked one up today as well. So sometimes you just need that shot at glory, and then you can fix yourself in that position for a long time.
Ackerman took it on. There is Seb Atkinson with a delicate little chip out to Barton.
Nice.
Williams and Skim. Offload in the middle of all that from Clement. Anscombe again, Ackerman. Atkinson tried to put boot to ball on that occasion, but McFarlane wasn't keen to play the game, and Saracens have it.
No, he's not on the ball, now the ball's out. Play on.
Oh, it's Gloucester ball.
Steal for Barton.
Yeah, Tompkins up quickly. It's a loose old game at the moment.
What we were just seeing in the 22 there was Gloucester at their best, an organised sort of interphase shape, going one way, going the same way, realise they've got no go forward, shoot back the other direction, cause Sarries some problems. It's when they get into loose areas like that Sarries are always going to lap it up.
It's brave from Tompkins as well, because often when there's a turnover, the defensive side, the new defensive side, can almost hesitate. It takes a while to flick that switch into defensive mode. And coaches always say the best thing after a turnover is get through the hands, almost don't take any space forward, just get it wide as quickly as you can, and you'll find grass on the other side of the field that you can run into. But the ball's in the air a long time here, slight hesitation, and Tompkins goes, I'm going to go and solve this myself, races out of the line. If you race out the line, you've got to make the tackle. He does that, and he stays on his feet, and is part of the turnover as well.
Try in Toulon a fortnight ago, not enough to extend Saracens there in the Champions Cup. Both of the centres try scoring down in the south of France and looking for more here together. Theo Dan, however, meantime. Rapava-Ruskin making a right old nuisance of himself over the top. And then walloped away by Ackerman. Not noted for his kicking, but that'll do.
Okay, he's inside as well, lads. At the moment, yeah, always in.
A more established kicker. Daly. Carreras. His kick set it all up. Ackerman. Atkinson. Morris. Escaped the clutches of Fergus Burke.
Some more.
Hartley and Tompkins doing all they can to keep the ball off the ground, and they do that.
Just slightly different on that kick receipt from Gloucester. It's the first time we've seen them play into midfield as opposed to trying to take the edge. The last two times they've done it, played around Sarries, not giving Sarries a chance to react. There we saw them carry into midfield, gave Sarries a chance to dominate the collision, push them to an edge, and then we see Sarries at their best when they start to scramble.
What are you talking about specifically ahead of games against Saracens that maybe you're not against other sides? Or what are you talking about more when you're playing Saracens?
So I think their ability to get into the passing lanes, in the outside channels in particular, get high defensively. So individuals, they're happy for individuals to get up there and cause a sort of cause a blockage of the passing lanes, and just exactly what we saw. when they get you, they go for you. They don't let you out. They don't let you escape, and they take your oxygen. So always to be expected.
I think part of that as well is also not letting that affect your game plan. And sometimes, because it's so oppressive, people start to play within themselves. Gloucester's advantage here, as we've seen, they can get to the wide channels as long as they're brave and go, stick with their plan. They will get opportunities in this game. But when you're under that much pressure, maybe you've made a couple of mistakes, suddenly people stop throwing that pass.
Burke hoisting the free kick.
So it's play on. It's all play on. It was
tapped back by Elliott. But it's Afo for Sogbon who can sort things out for Gloucester. Singleton. Anscombe. Once more to Jake Morris. Clement. Been watching Clement develop as a Premiership player this season, and it's been a lot of fun becoming a regular starter as well.
Another one that you'd like to see on the plane to Argentina. So I think I agree with Ben though on that point of sometimes someone has to drop out the squad, don't they? Sometimes somebody has to be going on a Lions tour ahead of you to get the opportunity to go.
Lovely swerve from Daly, and then McFarlane with the one-handed offload. However, there were a few too many in the middle of all that, and a forward pass as well.
A bit tight, wasn't it? Right in front of the officials, though. They were both in line with it, had a look at each other, decided it was. Very nearly came off. Quick handling. You can't hit. Can't get a shot on tackle-wise when the handling's that quick. Bit of interplay. Daly, great step initially.
Any problems at the moment, so just keep your space control.
And then Theo down, we know how good he is at the offload. Is that the forward one rather than the second, maybe?
Thank you. Val, please keep your space, okay?
Felt like McFarlane's off the floor, didn't it? Was the problem.
Another brilliant chance off the right-hand side scrum before. We saw the run around back to Thomas Williams and then the ball out the back. I think we'll expect to see something similar to the outside channels.
Do you fancy commentating on this?
Bind!
As it happens.
As it happens.
Set!
Give it a go.
It would depend on the width that Van Zyl can get. We go Ruin Ackerman off the base into Seb Atkinson's hands, back to Thomas Williams. Oh, don't try and commentate. Don't try and over-commentate.
And it all ends up with a penalty.
You landed this side and you rolled again when the jackal was in place.
Always got to do the unexpected, haven't you?
Should have gone with what I said, shouldn't they? They should have gone with the play that I said.
So interesting, though, isn't it, Benny, looking at what Gloucester are trying to do in these situations when Mark, not so long ago, was absolutely slap bang in the middle of it.
Yeah, just be careful you don't come out with the calls. Give those away.
It was really interesting to see Seb Atkinson's line there. So the first time they got them on the run around, he stays nice and tight, goes inside shoulder. To open up the chance to go back inside, he starts a little bit wider and starts to push as he catches the ball. It was a brilliantly executed play, but unfortunately the front foot ball was gained, which was what they wanted. But just unfortunately, at the end was a bit of a fumble.
Marco Riccioni continuing to take a little bit of ongoing treatment. Went down early on. Oh, Sequay, goodness me.
Not straight, it's fine.
Was about as high as he could have got to rescue that.
Brilliant athleticism from Sequay. But that's the problem. As soon as you get a slight looseness in your line out, it can affect things down the road. I think it was actually, I'm not sure whether Maui didn't hear the call. He stepped out the line out and he arrived late, which means Sequay has to almost do it on his own. He lands really heavily, but it means he can't find Van Zyl. So it bounces, that takes away some of the time. If you can make that delivery crisp and perfect, it makes it so much easier for the midfield.
Going to have a word with George Skivington in a minute or two. I can only imagine that he'd be happy enough with the way things have started. Not just the lead given to them by Chris Harris's early try, but overall play as well. Williams, Atkinson, Harris head down. Singleton, Clement. Lost the reset just outside Saracens 22. Rapava-Ruskin this time held on to by Atoje. Clement, Anscombe, and there goes Barton. Very nearly worked.
Well done.
Cut out pass, but Saracens black defensive line stayed strong. Atkinson hoists it over the top, and it was gathered by Jake Morris in mid-air, which is never the best of places to be.
Particularly when you're on the touchline. Very unfortunate hospital pass.
Injury over here in midfield, time is off.
But again, Gloucester will be happy with the speed of their breakdown in particular. It's allowing Thomas Williams a little bit more time to pick his options, go left and right from breakdowns, but Atkinson's last pass, since we talked him up, he's made a couple of mistakes, hasn't he?
What number's down injured, guys?
Marco Riccioni, I think, is down injured again. I mean, we hope for all the world that he can carry on, but if you had some Easter eggs to bet right now, you'd be thinking his match doesn't have much left to run. He's in the wars.
Yeah, when you see a tight head down that often, and you know, you don't want to be scrimmaging on that ankle, but just something to pick up on there that Ben just touched on, as when the ball comes out the back playing into these edges, what Sarries are brilliant at is knowing when to get forward and get in those passing lanes, but also knowing when they're slightly numbers down, ability to sit off and then go and get you as you make that pass. So we saw it there, they force Seb into that pass because there doesn't seem to be an option, there doesn't seem to be anything promoting itself as the option to go and take, so therefore he's sort of forced into taking the wide one. What I'd like to see there is just go and drive into that space and live to fight another day.
One more game in the Gallagher Premiership to enjoy together tomorrow afternoon. It's a biggie at Ashton Gate, Bristol against Leicester, and as ever, Craig and the gang will then lead us through the post-game show, the rugby review straight afterwards. Also got a cracking Women's Champions League semi-final tomorrow afternoon as well. The WSL leaders Chelsea flown to Spain to play Barcelona, and you will find that on TNT2 at 4:30.
Just waiting on whether he's injured
confirmation
or
that the change and Toro Marco Riccioni has charged around for the last time today. That's a really big injury for Saracens going forward between now and the playoffs. Lost Balmain till the end of the season. That doesn't look like a short-term injury. And Alec Clary's coming on.
The initial injury was just so innocuous, wasn't it?
Didn't
look like he rolled the ankle at all.
I'm going to wait for him to get off, though. Lads, we're going to wait for him to get off.
Something that was already existing in there, and he's just tickled it up. I'll certainly hope that might be less serious, but it doesn't look good, does it?
There's an awful lot of strapping on there already. Marcus Street, by the way, will add to Saracens' front row options next season. He's coming in from Exeter, but it's this season where their major concern will be for the next few weeks. Meantime, as Zekwe off Dan's throat.
Excellent setup of the drive from Saracens there. Timing of the explosion through Nick Ezekwe, Itoji at the front as they landed.
He's through the middle, he can play the ball, no problem.
Front sails kick riding on the wind. It's well judged, beautifully judged by Jake Morris. Hear the wind picking up on the effects mics as Thomas Williams tries to run like it.
First man won the ball. Leave it now,
a couple of rolls, which I think Mero Itoje was asking about. And it is Saracens' ball. Earl wants it, gets it. Burke. Now Daly. Always looking for the possibility, Daly, that there's a hole there somewhere. Funsale. And Carreras, goodness me, what a take that was. Anscombe, saw him look up before he had the ball. He knew what he wanted to do, but it took a touch, and Daly to Shegan, and that's too far in front of Rotimi Shegan. Let's have a chat with George Skivington. So far, so good, George. What are your headline thoughts?
Yeah, it's competitive so far. I think, you know, Sarri's obviously a very good D. We've created a bit, but also just not quite executed. So, yeah, look, it's a fairly even game at this point.
We got Mark Atkinson, as you probably know, alongside us, just giving away all your trade secrets. But what are you trying to look for in that attacking shape?
You've got to work harder to get them on.
Sorry, it's really quiet in my ear. But yeah, I mean, look, we're obviously trying to move the ball. I think it's something we didn't do well enough last weekend, and we're a bit frustrated with that. We think if we play, you know, we can find opportunities and holes, but you know, so we've had a real focus on that this week, albeit a short week, and the boys, they're trying to, you know, they're trying to play, they're trying to find the gaps. Like I say, we haven't been as accurate as we'd like, but we'll keep pushing that.
It's another good watch. Thanks, George.
Cheers.
Oh, and Tompkins bustles his way through. So many options. Van Sale was one of them. In the end, he just held on himself. The world stood still for half a second, at least in Nick Tompkins' world. And through he goes.
Oh, good, Adam.
Oh, it's a sensational line from Tompkins. His timing is superb, how he drifts and then cuts back onto the pass. A little bit tight in midfield from Harris, and then he overcovers, and that Seb Atkinson steps in to make the tackle. They get disconnected, and Tompkins goes through perfectly and finishes Barton off with the spin. You can see the realisation on Harris's face. Barton just overcovering, thinking Tompkins is going to go the same way, and he just steps back and pirouettes in.
Fergus Burke's conversion. And having been behind early on, Saracens have hit back with a couple of tries of their own. 12-7.
It's what Burke's really added to this team, the ability to go and run with the ball really, really well. Get right to that gain line and then just wait for defenders to make their decisions. There we saw Gloucester players making the wrong decisions and plays the short ball rather than the ball anticipates out the back.
What I love about Tompkins is his movement onto the pass, his ability to change his line on the pass perfectly. And if you do it that close to defenders, there's just no recovery. You're already through by the time that they realise there's a problem. You saw Harris, he was expecting Seb Atkinson to close that gap in behind him. Atkinson had got attracted to the first runner.
Agree.
It was hard work from Clark there to put pressure on Van Sale, meant that the kick didn't go as far as it might have done, and Seb Atkinson and maybe Barton can conspire here. Atkinson took it on, and the work of Saracens players over the ball.
First man on the ball.
The teamy Shegan.
Also initially 14 didn't keep his feet.
I think both sides of the ball, the accuracy at ruck time. We saw when Gloucester got into the shape earlier that it was going well, but both sides of the ball so far, that the ruck has been so competitive. Just coming back to the idea of Fergus Burke, speaking to Jamie George pre-game, said how he's really changed the attack shape because of the speed and the way he likes to carry the ball to the line. So, like you said, Nick Tompkins been able to stay so square, knowing full well that he's going to get to that game line. It changes everything.
Such a big psychological moment, this. Gloucester looking to come back and punch back immediately, get themselves a good attacking position, but then lose that turnover. And the danger that Gloucester have, we were talking about it before, whether the Saracens can slow the breakdowns down. The danger is they play wide and look for offloads and don't resource the rucks quickly enough.
Daly, Burke, Shegan, Elliott. Morris told to give up his wrestle. Atoje.
First man.
Tipped up by Singleton. Singleton took a little bit of a blow on the way through that. But it is a Gloucester penalty. Actually, just going back to...
won the ball, and number 4 played it on the floor.
Penalty going against Atoje. Just talking about Saracens' prowess at the turnover. They are the best in the Premiership at winning balls back that previously belonged to the opposition. There have been 8 already today.
Just thinking that, and Gloucester have had a couple as well. And that's 4 for Gloucester, is it?
Catching it.
It's a very loose game.
Approaching the half-hour mark. Stretching highest was Freddie Thomas, and Harris. A little bit of rib inspection led by Hartley. Saracens on their toes increasingly, aren't they? Goodness me.
Yeah, I think, Ben's just talked about it before, it's another opportunity gone begging for Gloucester to go and impose himself on this game. We saw it the first line out of the game down the 5-metre channel, which Gloucester didn't take advantage of. We've seen it there, we've seen a few launches go awry, so I think that one in particular, if you're the ball player receiving that, you just want that as early as possible. Brilliant read from Ollie Hartley and some dominant shots going in.
Just go away a second for me. I'll just have a really quick
good initial line speed, but you see how they control that line speed. Take the space early and then control their feet and accelerate through and make that tackle.
And your other players did need to come in, so it's a bit of both. No more of that, so it'll be penalties next time. That's it for now. Thank you.
Adam Leal, the referee.
Good shot. Actually, Harris does so well to hold on to the ball. Starts to drop it, manages to grab it on the way down.
It's just so hard. If you get hit in that position, the whole play is geared around the short ball, and therefore the clearers are heading for the short ball. Everybody's on their heels, trying to get there to clear that. It becomes virtually impossible.
And off the kick, this platform for Theo Dan. Sarries line out a bit hit and miss against Leicester a few weeks back. They lost 6 out of 14. It's much more secure today. Some pushing and shoving to do to get it over from here, so Theo Dan looks for a little bit more air. Does well. Funsale whips it out. Oh, intercepted by Harris. Barton to the right. Carreras might be the option. Carreras needs a kindly bounce, and now it bounced up in the end for Daly.
And use it, please.
An extra couple of miles an hour acceleration, that might have been a try.
Daly just commits to it. I think Carreras was looking how the ball might bounce, but with Fergus Burke alongside him, Daly just thought, I'm going to win the race there. It doesn't matter which way it bounces.
Use it, please.
The sizable frame of Arthur Clark, and then offside.
Just second time Saracens have done this from a line out. The quality of the setup play to give them that go forward. Just watch the speed of everyone working together, stamping their feet, almost like they're sprinting off a 5-metre drive, but then that interception, it's very near.
He's done it for years, hasn't he? He's saved Gloucester defensively for years, and that was one that you thought Sarries were going to be on top. I was just hoping it stayed in hands. The moment you put it onto the boot, it gave Elliott a chance to get back. I think if he just played that ball to the outside and let Santi get his dancing feet going, but brilliant cover from Elliott Daly.
Saracens, it's our house, let's make some noise!
Alec Clary ready for business. The rest of his mates not quite so keen at the moment. Go back for just a second check on the call. It was to the skipper.
The stadium announcer was so noisy that no one heard the call.
Dan. Clement muscling his way over the top. Willis, nifty footwork before deciding to go left. Clary's there, here he is.
No, he's off feet now. Don't play it, Gloucester.
McFarland and Atoje clearing the ball up for Funsale, whips it to Burke. Oh, he sets it up once more. Ironi Maui continues to buffet everybody inside the stadium, making passing difficult.
Off the foot I've got.
Morris couldn't quite get down low enough, but there's a lot of pressure here on Tobias Elliott, and he's being chased by Thomas Williams as well. He brushes off the Welshman and finds Shegan, who accelerates over halfway.
Offside lines, boys.
Willis. Again, the little step and surge. Burke.
A lot of front fight forwards here, defending for Gloucester.
Hartley, oh! Saw that coming a mile off, and a Puma with a run for the line, and a Welshman throwing his head back in anguish. And Gloucester are level, and it's a gift.
It's exactly what we talked about Sarries earlier, getting into those passing lanes. We're seeing it all over the place, aren't we? Chris Harris on his own line, Santi Carreras, who's actually, he's up there in the front line, which means there's backfield space, and yet he's waiting for it by the end of it. This is one of the most obvious passes that, and you see it on Nick's face, as soon as it's thrown, he knows exactly what he's done, doesn't he?
Just felt Gloucester needed that. They've had a few opportunities, a couple of them gifted to them, and they haven't been able to convert them. I thought the next score was really important for Gloucester. If Saracens had scored, I thought that could be the game going away from them, but they don't get much more of a gift than that.
He's banking on the pace of the ball, getting beyond Carreras, but Carreras was too quick, too close.
Who's the captain for Gloucester at the minute?
Freddie Clark, sorry Benny, Freddie Clark coming on for Lewis Ludlow. It's an HIA.
Just commenting on how slow Saracens have just walked back from that conversion. No interest in feeding Gloucester while they're on a high. They want the wind to go out their sails a little bit before they kick the ball off.
Burke digs it towards the 5-metre line. Harris takes it to the 15.
And use it, please, Gloucester. No. Still under the foot. Inside.
Williams' right foot finds touch.
I think what we're seeing there as well is growth from Gloucester. I think earlier in the season, scored a try, all excited, probably played from deep there and get themselves in trouble, whereas now we're seeing a team who know they're in the game, they know they need to stay controlled for the next 5 minutes and go into the half-time, so that's definitely good growth in the Gloucester attack.
Yeah, big 5 minutes to come. Earl, Van Sale, Burke, and try to cotton on with Hartley. Gloucester with the advantage. Singleton, he was rather isolated there, nobody else to the right, so he came left wisely.
Use it,
Williams
please.
gallops in.
Ball lifted.
Rapava-Ruskin
Tackle, let go,
takes
Sarries.
on Tompkins, who eventually has to give it up. Here's Clark, Freddie Clark, just joined us.
Tackle now. Okay, advantage over.
Ackerman. Seb Atkinson running out of space, running out of ball. Willis, he's hit by Clark. Daly. Now then, Hartley. He's quite a size, Ollie Hartley.
Tackle, let go, Gloucester.
Saracens coaches have been talking about him for a couple of years now, and we're seeing more and more of him in the Gallagher Premiership. Daly, Tompkins, Dan. This is where Saracens pose that threat mark, and defensively, half a hole is going to be exploited.
Yeah, what we're seeing now is them starting to look more and more comfortable, getting into shape. Like you said, Ollie Hartley getting on the ball, making dents. Elliot Daly stepping in at first receiver, starting to move this ball. And this, as I say, big turnover from Gloucester. That's the sort of thing that they need to see more. And they've gone.
Carreras threads it through, hopefully for Morris. Oh, and it's lost by Daly, and it is Gloucester ball.
Yeah, okay. No, we've got to.
Ruskin was alive for the quick line out, but Thomas Williams less keen.
I was just talking about Tompkins and how good his timing was. On the last first phase that he had, he just got ahead, which means that Gloucester were able to get off him a lot quicker. It's that fine balance of being a genuine threat as a decoy runner, that you might actually get the ball, and those times where you get slightly ahead of the ball and the defender can just drift off you straight away and catch you in behind.
How you doing, Val?
This is it. Just watch Tompkins. He just gets slightly ahead of being an actual realistic target. And watch the defenders in front of him. They go straight away and they're already bang in front of Burke. If he's slightly, just a fraction of a second further back, Clement can't drift off him, which means that all the other defenders have to stay and they've got a bit more space wide out. But you're too far back and suddenly the whole move breaks down. So it's just getting it bang on. He certainly got it bang on for his try.
Where do you take your cue for that kind of run as the centre?
So I was just thinking that as Ben was talking, a lot of it is the release from the back of the line out as well. So the moment 9 gets the ball, he starts the whole phase for 7 or 8 people. So they'll have worked on it all week, the triggers of what timing to leave off, what time they're going to go and who they're going to move off. And I think Nick there started to creep a little bit early, but Van Zyl just probably needs to turn the corner a step. Just as he goes, it just offers the centre an ability to go with him at the line and release the play.
Come on, lads, let's go. Here it
2
is.
minutes to half-time.
Okay, boys, time on,
Gloucester
please.
doing very well, having negotiated a 6-day turnaround, going down to Bath in their Challenge Cup quarter-final last Sunday. But a sticky start to the season, including defeat to Saracens at home on the first weekend. Only leaders Bath have been in better form so far, and we're seeing a little bit more of that Gloucester form here.
Great turnover, but knock on in the line out by Sarries. Scrum.
The net result of all that is a Gloucester scrum.
Great turnover, no problem with that at all. You won't get it on the stats because it was.
I touched on it earlier, but it's another one that's gone amiss, isn't it? Gloucester's ability to launch there. Defensively, I think they've been brilliant. They've scrapped it right down. They've made some big shots. They've won some big turnovers. It's just their ability once they've got in there. They've actually given Sarries the ball back all too often.
The line-out strategy there, we pointed out at the beginning, Saracens were giving them the front, so you just lull them into that false sense of security that it's going to be an easy win at the front, and then suddenly, just as the hooker's releasing, Nick Ezekwe appears alongside your jumper, puts a hand on the ball.
See if we see the run-around play again with Seb Atkinson back to Thomas Williams.
Okay,
Let's have a look. 40th minute, last chance in this first half for Gloucester to say something. Thomas Williams very nearly through. Oh, it was hard work from Earl. I'm not sure he was the one picked out illegally, but it is a penalty, and a lecture on the way from Adam Leal.
And captain Chris.
Adam Leal and Seb Atkinson with words to say.
I accept your apology, but let me referee the breakdown. This player's screaming at me. If that happens again, it'll be a turnover penalty. He understands. Thank you.
We got very quick ball.
No. They just can't move away. You were too quick to it. Roll away first before the man on the ball, please.
Yeah, fuck it. Should we go? Good corner. Good corner. But too far corner.
Corner or points? Points or corner?
Take it on.
Yeah, they're going to give it a go.
Just a bit of time pressure, isn't it? They'll only get one shot at this unless Sarries give away a penalty.
Get the timing right,
could have banked those points.
Get the timing right, please. Thank you.
The gong goes, but not yet the opportunity for Gloucester.
Good contest for the ball in the air. Backwards by Sarries.
McFarlane was up there, and Saracens will close the door, and they will end this first half, should they wish. No time for heroics. It was a bright start for Gloucester. Chris Harris with the early try, and then Rotimi Shegan and Nick Tompkins replied impressively for Saracens, but then Nick Tompkins' wayward pass snaffled by Santi Carreras. He ran away, converted the try, and half-time at the Stonex. Saracens 12, Gloucester 14. Santi Carreras' interception try off the wayward Nick Tompkins pass has Gloucester ahead at half-time. Big 40 minutes for both sides when we start to think about the playoffs that aren't far away now. Saracens, by the way, unchanged.
Okay, use it, please.
Either that they lost their tight head prop, the Italian Marco Riccioni, to injury in the first half. Alec Clary coming on. Elliot Daly.
He's onside here.
Full back again for Saracens today.
Okay.
Ackerman. Two brilliant eights today, Ackerman and Willis.
50 is on.
Sparking off each other.
Inside, boys.
Saracens, by the way, enjoying their best ever winning streak against Gloucester. They've taken the last 5 in the Gallagher Premiership. Not been a cherry and white success in this fixture for 3 years. June 2022. Choratko played in that match. That was the difference.
There's an opportunity here. They are creating a lot, but they just have to have that accuracy, and the line-out has to be sorted. Becoming a real problem for them.
Nick Ezekwe is having a blinder.
He is so athletic. We saw him take that ball without a back lifter on their own throw, but He's just a menace at the front.
I couldn't help but take my cherry and white hat off and just say to the coach as they're walking up the stairs from half-time what was said at half-time. Need to sort the line out. You can't win a game, can you? You can't. 3 or 4 entries in the first half, start of the second half. You cannot win a game without a line out.
Yeah, he's not making it easy, that's for sure. Preferred as the starter today to Hugh Tizard, who's on the bench.
There's not many other places you can go with Theo McFarland and Maro Itoje also in that lineup. So, as the caller, you'd be pretty worried on Friday night before this game.
Hartley takes it up. Rob Webber standing by to talk to us. We'll talk to him about line-out defence in a minute or two. Meantime, Shegan. Only one thing on his mind, and that's attack. Itoje and Ezekwe.
That's a big shot.
What was that? Took Ezekwe off his feet for Sogbon coming in. But it set up this very handy London platform. Maui. Van Sale. And then Hartley. And then Burke. Beautiful. And Daly just shoveled through to Daly, but it very nearly worked. And Van Sale again. And there's a penalty on the way. And Willis draws in 2, maybe 3 defenders, but the ball again not particularly quick. However, Ezekwe for Sogbon's there again, but Ezekwe gets it back and it's been lost forwards.
Not on, but penalty back
Oh,
in number 4.
Itoje would have scored.
Nearly brilliant from Ezekwe, because he knew he wasn't going to be able to score himself. Very nearly got that offload away. Theo Dan wants to go quickly, but just stopped by the referee. That power game and Saracens, beautiful line in all of that with Elliot Daly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, here it is. They just managed to shorten Gloucester up in the midfield in that first one, and then when you don't want is when you're a standing winger is Segun running down that wing towards you. Elliot Daly cuts an amazing. I don't know if we're going to see, but Elliot Daly cuts a really hard line off the 10, and it's just that because Burke goes to the line, waits, gives time for Elliot to pick his line straight through, and the scramble defence was brilliant on the line.
Saracens.com to secure your seat today.
Wait, please. Everyone good? Everyone up? Okay. Stay down.
So Theo Dan and this Saracens lineup, won by McFarland, brought down. Bodies in shape, nice shape. Gloucester with Arthur Clarke over the top. McFarland doing what he can to protect things, so too Itoje, and here goes the drive. Theo Dan. You try stopping that.
It's been a massive point of difference for Saracens this afternoon. Their driving play, the quality of their line-out delivery. Once they're set here, they keep their patience. Theo Dan doesn't keep moving forward. He waits. Shegan comes in, and Nick Tompkins is going to arrive, protect that ball. It's a little bit high there from Dan, and Williams gets his hand in on the ball, but Dan goes away from him, slides over the line. You heard Gloucester tell Saracens that no one was going to go up before the ball was thrown, and then they didn't really disrupt defensively on the floor enough. They didn't try and crack those gaps between lifter and jumper. Almost allowed Saracens the time to get set up, and then when the reinforcements arrived from the back line, it all felt a little bit inevitable.
Do you think more than any other team, but it's like a chess match coming here? You've got to think Gloucester attacking on the halfway line 3 or 4 phases ago. One opportunity from Sarries, they roll it over. Gloucester had 3 or 4 opportunities earlier in the game to do the same and didn't take the opportunity. That's all it's coming down to, isn't it?
The thing about Saracens, I think, Mark, is that they often, whatever's not going well in your game, they tend to do almost hammer it home psychologically by doing it really well. So Gloucester's line-out's been pretty poor in that first half. Saracens has been faultless, and their driving play's been really, really good.
Carreras. Rob Webber is just back from taking the water on. While that conversion was being taken, we'll let Rob get his breath back, and then we'll have a chat with him. He's watching the ball dribble through to his fullback Daly, and a rather fortuitous deflection, but it does mean that Sarries will have the line out. Let's have a chat with Rob. Were you passing on top secret information as well as water, Rob? What was the chat out in the middle?
No, I could obviously tell you, but I'd have to kill you if I did that. Secret information.
Please do, Rob. Please do.
Take us into this line out. Your line out's been working well, both offensively and defensively today, hasn't it?
Right until you just said that,
well,
yes.
Yeah.
No, we've been quite sharp there in the set piece so far, both sides of the ball, attacking defence, and obviously we're going to need to try and get back on track with that now after that first error.
What's the key to the way you've got into Gloucester's hair when they've been throwing in today, do you think?
Yeah, we've got a couple of different setups that we've identified with the way they try and where they try and win the ball, and then how they try and play away from their line out. So I think you saw that first one where Theodan came round. So hopefully we can get another opportunity to do that again.
The athleticism of Nick Ezekwe to the fore, you put him at the front, you don't give them any options, do you?
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? We've got some good athletes there, so it's just about getting the timing right and getting them in the air.
Brilliant. Cheers, Rob.
Thank you.
Brilliant opportunity for Gloucester. This is what you want. When you've not a chance to fire a shot in the second half, this is what they pride themselves on, an ability to get this ball wide and expect Sagan to come through on the edges as well.
Okay, that's stationary, use it. Come on.
Ackerman to Williams, and then the long pass to Carreras, and it might free things up for George Barton here. He's got a sprint for the line, but he's shepherded out of it by Daly. And Daly makes sure that George Barton knows who made the tackle.
You do us a favour by letting go of the ball, all right?
Just some of the decoys there, it just all happens a long way away from the Saracens line, and they just drift. And although Daly's got quite a lot to do, he's just got sight of Barton all the way through that. As soon as he's got to the ball, he accelerates and makes a big shot, knocks him into touch.
Tackle Gloucester, 5, move!
There's a long throw from Dan beyond the 15-metre line. And now Saracens draw the penalty. Just thinking back to that George Barton opportunity, very few would have taken that. That's a high-end, top-speed finisher's job, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think Ben's perfect there with somebody has to go in and tighten up the line there. So whether it has to be Thomas Williams off the first one, he buries himself into the line and holds defence, or it's a little bit wider and the play is wide. Somebody has to go in the line and hold the defensive line. And it just felt a little bit far away, a little bit lateral, and I don't think George ended up with any chance.
Sarries line taken by Theo McFarland. Rumble over halfway, and Dan has it back. Jamie George on the bench today, by the way, for Saracens. Don't lack for options.
He's alongside the man. Stay on.
Evan van Sale. Hartley away to Burke. Burke tries to escape the clutches of Harris, but he's one of the best in the business at doing that.
Still can be tackled.
Big smile on Mark Atkinson's face. And then the kick. Putting pressure back on Barton.
Keep working back, Gloucester. Keep working back.
Daly.
Okay, they're all on.
All options open here. The long pass to Burke. He's got Theo McFarland rumbling away to the left-hand side. He tried to take the tackle, and then as he did, couldn't get the ball away. However, still Saracens and Willis. Toje. Hartley. Earl. Lot of movement before he even caught the ball.
Ball's exposed, first man. Play on.
It was Freddie Thomas scrapping away, scraping away, making his point to Adam Leal. In the end, though, it's a Saracens penalty.
We touched on it just after half-time. It was just something that came up whilst speaking about the first half. But both sides need to learn how to play the referee. We've seen a lot of penalties. That's not to suggest that either side is getting harshly treated. It's just you need to learn to play the referee and what he's going to be seeing. He's been doing it for long enough now that we know the way he's refereeing today. We know he's giving penalties, so therefore you have to make your decisions smarter than this.
You can see three very large men of Gloucester, actually one man of Russia in the middle of them, but Seb Blake, Jamal Ford-Robinson and Kirill Gotoptsev, the tight head prop, all limbering up below us. So we're going to have a brand new front row in a minute, it would seem, Ben.
2 metres, please, Thomas, thank you.
In the meantime, Saracens back in the spot they like to be, a Toje.
Access is good.
Just admire the efficiency in all of this, and again the question, how on earth do you stop it? Gloucester in white today doing all they can, but there's the answer. And again it's Theo Dan, and he scored 2 tries off line-outs in almost as many minutes, and bit by bit this game just falling away from Gloucester.
This must be killing George Skivington. If you think back 4 years ago when Gloucester were probably the best line-out driving team in the league, and they're being completely torn apart in this facet of the game. Again, the setup from Saracens in terms of their drive, really good. They just work those white shirts down the left-hand side of their maul and spin round, pivot, and as soon as Theo Dan sees the line in front of him, they all just accelerate and go through. And nice way to finish his afternoon's work.
I think what you touched on, Nick, efficiency is the word, isn't it? We've just seen a launch on the halfway line. Chris Harris shuts it down out the back. You think that the play's done.
Me, Adam?
2 phases later, penalty into the corner, and Sarries do what Sarries do.
He's
Should be a
I've
bit
got
of
no
a
problems.
lesson for Freddie Thomas as well. Just, you know, things happen in a game. You just, as soon as they're done, you've got to forget about them.
It was one of the poshest complaints you've ever heard to a referee, though, wasn't it? It was a very polite, well brought up complaint, that's for sure.
Jamie George is on for the try scorer Theo Dan, so there'll be no Dan hat-trick today. Rees Carey also for Aroni Maui. And on the other side of halfway, those Gloucester changes that we revealed exclusively on TNT Sport. Rapava-Ruskin, Singleton and Fasogbon off for Blake, Ford Robinson and Gutotsev. Meantime, Adam Wheel's wires aren't working yet, so there's Rees Carey. Welshman stepping up again with Phil Brantingham missing. Every time we watch Rees Carey play at the moment, Ben, he always impresses.
Yeah, no, nothing clear.
There's a lot around the field, doesn't he? Looks fitter than when he first arrived at Saracens. Really makes a big impact, and now he knows he can empty the tank for, what, 30 minutes? Alongside Jamie George, another man who'll want to make an instant impact.
Adam Neal got his batteries replaced with 4 seconds left on the kick clock, so quite rightly he's gone to Fergus Burke and said, I won't hold you to those 4 seconds, you take your time, son. He's riding this wind beautifully. Short-range tries, long-range conversions, 14 big points, and Gloucester with some work to do now.
We checked in the background, there was no obstruction.
The entire front row, 1 Val, Rapava-Ruskin, 2 Jack Singleton, and 3 Afro Fasogbon, being replaced by 16 Seb Blake, 17 Jamal Ford Robinson, and 18 Kirill Gutotsev. Stunning staying for the score, Saracens 26, Gloucester
Ollie Hartley,
14.
still only 23. Hartley.
Use it, please. Carried back in.
Atoje with George involving himself straight away.
Okay, tackle, we're inside. Use it, please.
So to Rees Carey. And then Clary. 2 big bricks in the bridge. Van Sale's kick. Chased by Shegan effectively, but then tapped back by Ford Robinson. Oh, and then that's gone forwards off the hands of Seb Atkinson. Do Gloucester carry on trying to do what they've been doing but do it better, or is there a change of game plan needed?
I think it's exactly what you said. Do what you've been doing, but more efficiently. Do it with better skill, better execution. What they've been doing in this game largely is what they've defended well. When they've been into phase shape, they've been challenging Sarries. They've scored tries. So this is a case of just getting your line out working, getting some good field position, and holding on to the ball.
That's how things look at the top of the Gallagher Premiership at the moment. Big win for Sale across town, across the river at the Stoop a little bit earlier. Saracens right now into the top 4.
First scrum after all those substitutions. Instant impact from Jamal Ford-Robinson on that far side.
Williams takes it quickly, but it wasn't from the right spot.
Poor Alec Clary's the only one who's not fresh, having been on since Richie only left.
So what bothers me there is nines have to take it like that, and then when you watch people kick to touch, you can kick from anywhere within 5 yards of it. But we just missed a chance to see Thomas Williams at his best, didn't we?
We will get the chance to see Seb Blake at his best, however, or at least he will hope so, with the throw, this attacking throw.
Thank you. Good luck. Cheers.
Mentioned Jamal Ford-Robinson a second or so ago. He's saying hello to the Premiership once again. First time in 4 months back from injury. One of the Premiership's good guys. Here is Williams.
Again, they've won that ball. Williams has cleaned it up, but it's not a platform to attack off, and now Williams has been caught and the turnover's made. So it's just a huge, I mean, as I said, it'd be killing George Skivington. It was such a big part of his game as a player, sorting out the line out, sorting out the driving play, and they've been completely played off the park in that aspect. And Rhys Carey with that instant impact.
What do you go to, Ben? Do you go to 5s? Do you go to 6s? Do you go to +1s? Do you go to drives?
You've got to know what your bankers are as a team. So different hookers have different throws that they're better at. You know, some like to put a little bit more shape on it, some like to whip it in fast. So you've got to know, with what you've got on the field, who's the best and or what's the best call. But also, you've now got a mismatch of people that are fresh and people that are not, which means some of the timing gets off because the fresher guys arrive a little bit earlier. And it's all about flow, your line-out drill. Everything has to work in unison together.
Saracens with Gonzalez for McFarland, and the giant-sized Hartley thumps it up again. Funsale, Earl, that quick footwork then, just before he takes the ball. Tompkins, he gets it away in the tackle to Ezekwe. Earl again. This time head down, rhinoceros style. And look at the ground that he's made. He's lost it. See Cam Jordan stride out onto the pitch in his fresh white kit, and he's replacing Arthur Clark.
Number 4 sub.
Clark's first involvement since the foot injury that he suffered away with England before the Six Nations comes to an end, but having Clark back between now and the end of the season will be a big thing. Oh, Jamie George has it, nearly gets away. Earl's there.
Backwards.
Not just Earl providing the thump, and then that was lost by Gonzalez.
Just got to switch on. Jamie George, no one really paying attention apart from Thomas Williams, but we can take him out with a little dink over the top. Ben Earl gives it him back, he wins the collision.
Okay, time off.
But he just can't afford to be switching off. They get gifted
You got what?
an ending that they probably didn't deserve there, Gloucester, because they could have been in real trouble if that ball's held.
Okay, boys, form up.
The eyes come up, don't they?
Time on, please. Let's go, boys, hurry.
Jamie George beyond 100 games for his country now, 200 for his club in the Premiership. A view over the shoulder of our assistant referee, Joe James.
Crouch! Bind! Stop, stand up.
So
He's just waiting to get his bind this side, then we pre-engage.
Robinson win that first penalty on his first scrum. A little bit less power now on his second one, but he'll be looking for a similar result to help his team out, give them an easy clearance, field position, and still retain possession from the penalty.
I'd be excited to see this ball come out, you know, from a Gloucester point of view. I think this is one of the really, really good areas to go from. Expect to see Seb Atkinson go at the line, if Anscombe decides to pull the trigger and take this wide, Sarries sort of have to sit off.
Jake Morris in the shadows on the far side, stretching the pitch as much as he can. Williams bending in that direction, and now here he is. Morris, he couldn't quite get it away. Ball still available for Saracens to work with. Willis, Tom Willis, part of the reason Saracens are posting the best dominant carries this season. Burke, Hartley, he will add to those dominant carry numbers as well. Likewise, Carey. Nothing more thrilling than a big man in full flow, and Carey is a big man in full flow just then. Here's Ezekwe. That's OJ. Oh, George, beautifully away to Earl.
Play on.
Loose ball. Cam Jordan had a long way to get down to it, and he got down quickest and drew the penalty.
Number 18's diving on the ball emerging from a ruck.
Alec Clary giving it up.
Contest was good.
Now, how about this for young Jack Cotgreave? Premiership debut coming up for him.
Mark before was just talking about that play from Gloucester on their own line and how Saracens would have to hang off. But if you watch Sale's defence, he's the reason they managed to close it off on the outside, because he races across.
Lads, open up, please. Get one you up.
Cotgreave is on. 18-year-old, 19 next Friday. We'll get Mark Atkinson to tell us all he knows about young Jack Cotgreave in a minute. A couple of Challenge Cup games this season.
More.
And now here he is, a Premiership player. Gloucester with a gap to bridge, a dozen points behind.
17. Yeah. He's all the way through the middle, no issue. Always bound.
Oh, Gloucester back in the part of the pitch they want to be, and the scampering work of Earl, drawing the mistake from the scrum half, Thomas Williams.
So that is a really tough balance. Your maul starts to go forward, you're starting to rumble on, but it's also one of the best opportunities to attack from on the pitch. When do you release that ball to go? You're balancing between the ref giving you a penalty and then you play freely, or sort of Mara gets in, does what he does best, spoils it, and that's the end.
When I've spoken about the mismatch and the driving play, it's the little things like, if you watch Saracens when they drive, the work of the guys at the front that make sure that no one can get through to the ball carrier at the back. There's nothing the ball carrier can do there. He's got the ball hidden under his stomach, and Marrow comes over the top and just wraps the ball up, which means Thomas Williams has to come in when he doesn't want to be involved. But it's the work of the guys at the front not keeping those Saracens players away that has caused the problem for Gloucester there.
Mark Atkinson, give us 10 things we didn't know about Jack Cotgreave.
No pressure. I know they're excited about him. Big lad, rangy, very fast. Scored on debut down in Exeter, didn't he? So he's someone who's come through the academy, and they are very excited by him. So I've seen him play. I was impressed. I think he's got a lot to add to this back line and good opportunity. Some injuries out there. We'll be excited to see him go.
Some good players coming through that academy. Just across the car park from Kingsholm now. It's developing into a very nice setup, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, and getting opportunities. I think that's the key bit. Always produce, but getting these opportunities on the big stages now.
Bind. Set.
Cotgreave has a quarter of this match to show us what he can do in the Gallagher Premiership, and Williams kicked that on, and then he was held back, but Adam Leal's whistle had gone already, favouring Sarries.
Forwards first, not around the outside.
Yeah, if you saw the first penalty Ford Robinson won, he does end up running around the outside of the scrum, but because he won the initial hit of the scrum and was moving forward, the referee will let you get away with it, but on that time, he's so desperate to win the penalty, he just hits and goes. You see his hips come out on the right-hand side of your screen, and he just then runs on the angle across the tight head.
And the Onyama Christie, player of the match in the win at Kingston, Kingsholm at the start of the season, is on for Tom Willis.
Thank you. It's what we spoke, you know, what you guys asked me about in the changing room, about not going forward first. That's exactly the picture I saw from you guys then. OK, time on.
And Leo just explaining his decision to Jamal Ford-Robinson at the back of the line out there.
George's throw.
Sarri's ball, yeah. Sarri's ball.
The work of Freddie Thomas.
Saracens ball.
The wind has definitely added to the complications of throwing the ball inaccurate in the line-out today, Ben, but some of the defensive work individually has been outstanding.
Absolutely brilliant. And there from Thomas, superb, but that man Jamie George, just think he should have just put a little bit more on it. I invited him in. That's a nice throw, really good shape from Maritoji in the air.
It's a late sack.
Saracens penalty with the advantage, George.
Collapsing them all, penalty advantage.
Hartley, Earl.
Yep.
Oh, Van Sale thought about going on his own.
I can't play on through that. You've created a gap by going through the man, but we're coming back for the original penalty.
That gap was cleared illegally. Back, however, for the
Number
first
8
offence.
missed the first man sack, then collapsed them all.
Hanscom flies backwards out of this, but here's the sack. Ackerman tries to pull him over, can't manage, and then it collapses a little bit later. That's the penalty.
That's just a question of timing, Ben. If you're going to do that, you've got to bring it down
It's got to be the
immediately.
first man, really, so no one else should be in the maul. So they'll give you a bit of leeway if you do it straight away, and they'll say, oh, it wasn't formed up, but the longer it goes on, the more likely there's going to be extra bodies from your side in there.
Thanks, buddy. Just on your front, man.
We seem to be spending an awful lot of our Saturday evening in this area, and comfortably so for Gloucester.
Advantage early.
Gloucester beginning to cough up a few too many penalties for their own liking as well.
They're under advantage.
Clare is waiting with menace, weighty menace, so too Rees-Zammit. It's not getting that far.
Far annoying the referee into starting to think about a yellow card. I don't mind that penalty that they give away because they're not actually going to be that much better off from it if they kick to the corner.
It's at least a warning.
But at least they attack Saracens early on in the setup of their drive. They made a bit of a mess of it. Might be illegal, but they'll be happy that there you can see Jordan just going slightly early, but he cracks the gap between the jumper and the front lifter.
You'll have heard Maro Itoje make that point to Adam Leal, the referee, that any more offences, you're thinking yellow card. Any more tries, you're thinking this game's done as a contest.
Jordan's done well again there, he's got in, nuisance.
Ball is there, don't kill it! It's not there! It's there, don't kill it, it's available.
For Saracens. Burke takes a step backwards. Everyone seems to look to the left, which is where Earl is.
No, it's a ruck now.
Onyama Christie.
And use it, Saracens.
Waiting eagerly. Juan Martin Gonzalez, but Carey wheels, barrows himself the other way.
Use it. Step.
Van Sale, maybe now. Hartley. Oof. That was a big, important tackle from Clement. Put his shoulder in as he had to, but still, the danger apparent. On the far side, Tobias Elliott in the sunshine. Not seen overly much of Tobias Elliott recently in this contest, but he's offering himself now, should it get there, and Tompkins takes the double hit. Knocks the ball on. Opportunity blown by Sarries.
Brilliant defensive set. I think it's what we've seen from Gloucester a lot of this game. Brilliant defensively. It's only really been the set piece and the driving maul that's unpicked them. So many big double hits though coming in. I sort of looked to the left of me and Ben sort of shrieking away from that big one that Chris Harrison and Jack Clement made in the middle. And it's just relentless, isn't it? 7 or 8 massive hits in a row, and Sarries had nowhere to go.
What are they asking, Adam?
They're saying Nick Tompkins.
Who hit you hardest? We have this conversation regularly with the new boys. Who made the biggest and longest lasting impression on you?
It's a great question. Leave it with me. I'll have someone for you.
Okay. We're off air in 20 minutes, just to let you know. But
there's a long list.
Time on, please.
It's okay, Adam.
Thanks, man.
Stay down, boys. Let's go. With you. Come on, Mara. Come on, Mara. Yeah, two.
Crouch.
Alex Good has gone to fullback.
Bind.
To allow Elliot Daly to press up. With Hartley replaced. And it will be Good trying to field this ball. Bounces inside the 5-metre line. Here he is, being chased by Cotgreave, and Cotgreave gets there.
The ball and got back up.
He did nicely. Good to put the ball down and then pick it up again.
No.
To negate the tackle. George.
Okay, use it, please, Ivan.
Carreras. Now Gonzalez brilliantly. Oh my goodness! Oh no! That has to be illegal. That is special with capital letters from S through to L. Juan Martin Gonzalez with the tackle, with the steal, with the run, with the try.
Oh, it's just brilliant against his compatriot on the floor, bounces back to his feet, steals the ball down the blind side. Little show for Thomas Williams, and then the power to go through Anscombe as well. How about this? Does he release? I don't think he releases there. But
the speed back to feet is incredible, though, isn't it? If we're talking about the positives, the speed from tackle to feet was something special.
Don't release line. He's not on the player. He puts his hand on, and then no, it's fine. Let you go. Back you go, please.
Thomas is asking the
question. Just asked the same question. I think he gets away with that. That's all good pickpockets would.
Not this time, but that's a try we'll be talking about for a long time.
We can't change that, but the second man wins the ball.
Fergus he makes the conversion, but I'm not sure there is a clear release there, but they've got away with it. Brilliant finish of it.
Yeah, I always think it's an interesting one. When you see someone like that, who he had a chance to go right through Santi there and end him, and he chose to sort of make the hit. The hit was a good size hit, but he's thinking already about the next part of it, rather than thinking, I'll just smash you and walk through you.
Gloucester have made changes at half-back. Thomas Williams and Gareth Anscombe are off, and Charlie Atkinson and Caelan Englefield are on. Meantime, Ben, what you talked about?
Well, they've brought Alex Good on at full-back, but probably with the score as it is, you're not wanting to risk Fergus Burt. In which case, you might see
Bracken at fly half.
It's not a bad shout.
Ben Earl to centre.
Oh, yes. He's going to give it a go.
Saracens 5.
By the way, Saracens, having trailed 14-12 at half-time, are winning this second half 19-0.
Is it Nick Kazigba, number 5?
Gloucester's last points in the 34th
minute. That's all right, Jamie. Thank you, mate. Time on, please.
Carrera, sort of short, stabby one, taken by Andy Onyama-Christie.
Use it, please.
Toje looks the likeliest. Here he is. That Lion squad named in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay,
shorter and shorter odds, I think, that Maro Itoje will be the captain. Well, that'll get caught up in the wind.
They're all onside.
Taken by a flying Carreras. Spectacular, thrilling as ever. Atkinson, just on, laid back by Jordan. Clement, Englefield. Jordan. Athletic, rangy, heavy ball carrier. Atkinson off his feet. And Ford Robinson looking elegant until the ball was given away. But it'll still be Gloucester's. Atkinson. Trying to play as flat as possible. Freddie Clark ripping it back. 8 minutes to go. Clement. Hard work over the ball from Ben Earl. This is Gloucester stringing together more phases in the match than they have done so far. It's not taking them far. The battle's still raging around halfway. Ackerman tries to change that.
I've not seen him knock
Harris.
on.
Yeah, it's going forward, Adam. It's going forward.
Knock on.
That's the voice of our TMO, Peter Allen, to confirm Adam Leal's suspicion that there was a knock-on.
It's what Sarries do is the suffocation. They were happy for Gloucester to go side to side around the halfway line, waiting for a decision. Sometimes in those situations, the last thing you expect is probably backfield space. That sort of thing that you still need to look at as an attacking team.
Who's winning that one, Mark?
Tomorrow, Bristol are going to beat Leicester, even though I think Leicester are going to come good towards the end of the season, but I think Bristol are winning that one in the sun tomorrow.
You reckon, Benny? Not allowed to say, no. Contractually not. Contractually at this stage of the second half, only allowed to eat Haribos, which is what you've been doing. Yeah, anyway, that one tomorrow, TNT Sports 1, and then we've got the Rugby Review post-match as well, when we will discuss whether Mark was right and the Bears did win.
Your boys all up, yeah?
Just
happy now?
On how Gloucester are playing. It's the weakness probably isn't the right word, but are Gloucester lacking a little bit of a power down the middle in terms of some of the forwards, because they're sort of forced to play that wide all the time, and now Saracens aren't being held and being made to be honest, because they know that they can get into those wide channels. So you look at the top tackler for Saracens, usually in a game the top tacklers are going to be the back rowers, but for Saracens it's Tobias Elliott who's the top tackler.
It just shows the game plan they come in with, get into those wide channels, but it's how are you going to make this gain line, isn't it? How are you going to get one-on-ones, and that's probably what's lacked today.
Tizard, part of this Saracen scrum. You'll have seen that he's replaced Nick Ezekwe. Ezekwe's first Premiership start of 2025 comes to a close.
Forward, and then
Tizard and co winning the penalty. Gloucester increasingly have had no platform. The set piece has offered no respite. Scrum or line out in particular.
Okay, thank you.
Is this Sarries on their running? Is this, we've not seen this all season. Speaking to a couple of their boys before, it's probably the first time we've seen Sarries ever dip below in times. Last week we saw it in France, but there's been times this Premiership campaign where we've seen Sarries dip. This is a team that's looking today, the second half in particular, very, very Sarries-esque.
I think that Toulon selection decision to play the big players against Leicester rather than down in the south of France told us all about where their priorities are right now. Again, the line-out competition remains strong, but it was won back by Toje. Here goes George. Does he get it down in time? Oh, if he has, that is fabulously dexterous. Even he can't quite believe it. The look on his face. Did I really get that down? Well, the TMO will want to check. Let's have a look. Has Jamie done it? Oh my goodness, he has.
Yeah, it looks good.
Heartbreaker for Gloucester, having done so well to pinch the line out. Hitoshi reacts before Englefield. George sees him coming across and just stands firm. Sticks that, knows he's got the ballast to hold his own, just stands firm, bounces the man off, and then has the accuracy to ground the ball.
Yeah, just
enjoyed that one.
Just tell him, Joe, that we did check it, it's okay.
Increasingly, we will see Jamie George, maybe for country as well, being used off the bench, but what an option off the bench when he brings that energy.
What a finish. But I think Sarries have done it for years. They've always had two good hookers. It's the way Jamie's played before. We saw it with Scout Brits before, and they've just sort of done 50 minutes, then 30 minutes, and I think he can do both. I think he can still start games. I think he can still impact games. We saw him sort of back to his best towards the end of the Six Nations, and we're seeing him coming off the bench for Sarries and adding here.
Starting stadium, the score, Saracens 36, Gloucester 14. Come on, Sarries.
Still playing scrum advantage to Gloucester. Up there on the 10, so we'll see what happens.
Charlie Bracken is
advantage coming back for the knock-on.
is with us.
Yeah, it's a scrum knock-on by you.
Big shot from Elliot Daly. He's one of the players that's played really, really well again today, Elliot Daly.
You're getting a 15 white.
Yeah, time off.
It's another man that you wouldn't be surprised if you saw on tour again in the red shirt, would you?
Benny, player of the match.
Well, Elliot Daly's been good, I think. Fergus Burke's had a really good game. The Saracens controlled it well. Shegan's done some really nice bits. But for me, the person that set the scene by destroying all of Gloucester's possession in these line-out performances, Nick Ezekwe, and he's our Gallagher Premiership player of the match.
15 white.
15, only if you've got time, don't worry.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. First Prem start of this year, as we were saying.
There's no foul play in that injury.
Absolutely central to the part of the game that really first started to niggle away at Gloucester and just begin to ask questions
Driving
in their
play
mind.
as well when they on their own throw was outstanding. Really did look sharp from minute one in the line
We
out.
checked it, there's no foul play.
There's Charlie Bracken.
How did you do it? Just do it hitting the ground? Or?
I think he looks like his dad, doesn't he? Goodness me. I'm sure that Kieran will be around somewhere.
Okay, there's your mark.
First Premiership game for 6 months for Charlie.
Stay,
He's
everybody. Time on,
only
please.
played in 6 all told. He's only 21, but again, another one of those Saracens youngsters coming through the academy that the coaches absolutely love.
Let's go, Kate. Let's go, Kate. Grips.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Final few minutes of this contest, the contest that Saracens have just run away with in this second half,
that's stationary.
24-0. Atkinson, Englefield, Harris. This is Cockgreve in his Premiership debut. Does all he can to stay tall and send it back.
No, second go.
Tackle from
Second
Earl.
Go, rock formed. Slow the ball.
Atkinson's tap on.
You got the penalty advantage, 9.
Oh, it's done really nicely to find Ackerman, and Ackerman over the top. That's gone forward, so we'll come back for the advantage.
Very infectious there, didn't it? Lovely ball over the top, and then
Just I mentioned about Van Seal's defence before. Watch Charlie Bracken here. One attempt, nearly gets there, doesn't give up. But that is what's been allowing Saracens to overload the wide channels. The work of the 2-9s today has been superb, and obviously Charlie Bracken learning off Van Sale as well during the week.
the big difference on those first phase plays, if nothing is held in tight, there's nothing to look at wide. So all of a sudden you don't see anything from Sarries, they just see a wall of black or Shepherd in Gloucester to the touchline.
Wait till the arms are
It's an
down.
easy decision in the end.
Wait till the arms come down. Thanks, Mark.
It's been an awfully long time since Gloucester troubled the scoreboard operator.
More.
This would offer some effort of warmth and comfort on the way home.
Toja's got through again on the ball.
Oh, there as well, trying to rip it away, rip it out, done the job.
Those players at the front of that maul just not working hard enough. I know Itoji's a menace. I know he's so good and strong in those positions, particularly when he's upright and tall and he can crack through the gaps.
It's got to
But
be immediately available. It's underneath everybody.
just really, really poor from Gloucester.
Just looking at the run-in, Saracens' toughest game left in the regular season, maybe away to Sale next weekend. They're then at home to Newcastle, away to Northampton, and home to Bath. And how much Bath will have to play for might be a question. Gloucester, 3 of their remaining 4 regular season games against teams in the bottom 3. Home to Exeter next weekend, away to Harlequins, and then Newcastle away and Northampton at home. So they will say opportunity still very much alive for them.
Hugely. I think this Gloucester team knows playing at home, playing at Kingsholm is a massive factor for them, and I think they know there's an opportunity and it's in their own hands, which is the first time in a long time for the club.
It's going to be a fabulous run in between now and the end of the regular season here on TNT Sports, as the drive for the line from Cam Jordan nearly takes him there, but not quite. Freddie Clark waits.
Leave him now.
Saracens slowing it down, getting their hands in the treacle. Here goes Clark as the gong goes to signal the end to proceedings. Not yet, perhaps, the try scoring. Saracens with one last big defensive effort to do. Gloucester still scrambling, have the penalty.
Let go now, don't play it. So they can't kill it. It's your own man as well.
Jordan waits. It's a penalty to Gloucester, so they can reset with a little more order.
Your own player is pushing, but your own player is pushing it back into him. I'm giving you the penalty. Roll away.
Don't kill the ball. There is no way Maro's letting that ball come out there, is there?
It's been a scoreless second half so far from the visitors. Here's a chance to change that. Won't change the result. Atkinson. Determination to take them that close, and then a group effort. Seb Blake at the tail of it all. The post acting as an extra defender at the moment. Adam Leal on his hands and knees, on his chest, held up. Final roar, London Roar, led by Elliot Daly, Rotimi Shegan. And that'll do. It boils over a little bit, simmers over a little bit, but it's a match that means Saracens will head back into the top four for the first time since January, and Gloucester slip out of the top four. Still so many twists and turns in the race for the playoffs to come. So much excitement, so much for both of these teams to look forward to hope for. But today it's Saracens, and comprehensively in the second half in particular. Final score, Saracens 36, Gloucester 14.